Hi, everyone. Welcome to CBO with Miss Duchess. My name is Ayana Sumlin, aka Miss Duchess. I'm an entrepreneur, business owner, accountant. I'm a model, uprising actress, and I'm a health and wellness advocate. So, in this space, in this platform, we'll be focusing on healing. HEALING, not healing, healing. And with that being said, we go back to TBO, which means transparency, vulnerability, openness, and honesty. So, in today's episode, we will be talking about getting to the root of the problem. The root of the problem, we'll also be talking about grace and how to implement that with that and in life as well. And we'll also be discussing Charlemagne the God's book called Get Honest or Die Lying. And today we have a special guest, my sister friend, Kayla, Special K.
What's up, everybody? I'm Kayla Shane, and I'm so excited to be here today.
What do you do? What do you do?
Currently for work, I am an accountant, but 2025, you're about to see a lot more about me. Yeah. I got some things in the works, but I don't want to really talk about it right now.
I love that. Yeah, you can't tell everybody.
Let's check in, sis. It's December. We're at the end of 2024. A lot of stuff has happened this year.
Yes.
So much stuff. So a lot of people are in like a reflective state. They're trying to figure out what's in, what's out as we're going into the new year, you know? So where are you at right now? Let's check in with you. What's your vibe? What's going on? How was 2024?
2024 was, I would say it was the tale of me finding myself. So it was a death and rebirth, which that was how it was all 4 years. But once I got to this year, it was like, okay, I'm gaining my stability back. I'm gaining my structure back. So now I'm able to pour into other things that I want to do.
Okay.
And I've already gotten to the point where I built my foundation, where it's not going to waver. No one can knock me off my foundation. So I think this year was all about gaining that structure back. And now 2025, it's go time.
It's go time.
I think 2025 is called redemption.
How about that?
I think that's what it's called.
You know, honestly, when you talk about redemption, a lot of people don't know your backstory. So let's take it back to college. We're graduating. We graduated college. You just started your career at Big Four, KPMG. Let's touch on a little bit about that for how then to how you got to now.
I interned with KPMG for 2 summers and in a winter.
Okay.
And that winter internship, it really gave me the gist of what I will be doing once I started working full time. And I said at the end of that internship, I knew to myself, I told myself, I said, this is not for me.
Oh, hell no.
I said, I don't know. I said, I can't do this. This is not for me. A 9 to 5 is not for me. However, I knew that was my only security once I graduated. It was so easy to just get it. It was an opportunity that I chose to partake in. And at that time, I thought it was the best thing for me. I wanted to do it. I was excited. So I was just like, okay, well, let's stick with what we know and just find our way. But once I started working there, it was the start of COVID. We were working from home. I feel like it would have been better if I was able to go into the office. But I learned a lot there. It was strenuous. It was a lot of work, but I learned a lot. It was great. Then the culture was great there. The environment was great there. Anyone looking that's graduating college and looking for a job, KPMG is a great place to work at.
To start, at least.
Yes, to start. And whatever your heart desires, you could do. But it was good. It was good. And then I worked there for a year and a half. And then I decided that I wanted to pursue modeling and acting.
Yeah.
And that was a journey in itself because it was rough. It was rough because not only was I not receiving that biweekly paycheck,
okay,
I had to hustle.
That's the first thing you realize.
Exactly. So I didn't have that, and then now I have to hustle, and now I'm pursuing my dreams. But with me hustling, people probably don't really know. It's like your account not gonna be in deposits all the time. Like you'll have those days where you only have $0 in your account. And I had those days where I only had $0, or I only had a negative balance, and the next day I have $20, and the next day is negative again. So it was just, and then I'm scraping just to make enough money for my bills, like my car payment, my car insurance, and things like that. But I'm also not upset or not angry because I was doing what I love to do, which was modeling.
So let's pause for a quick second just to paint the picture. You fresh out of college, you jump into Big Four.
Yes.
It was also at the start of the pandemic.
Yes.
So we're all working from home remotely. Mm-hmm. And if you know anything about Big Four, you work in them 80-hour work weeks.
Yes.
That's coming. Work-life balance is like non-existent. And especially during COVID, we're living at our parents' house. And so home is also our workplace, is also our rest place. There's no outlet really, because everything is in one spot, right? So eventually you're working for a year and a half and you realize this ain't it. It's time to go.
Yeah.
And you decide to pivot. You decide to quit and start over.
Right, exactly. And so I pivoted into another level, which that also opened up a whole new spectrum or door for me in getting to know myself and who I am. I think it made me get closer to who I was because it was just me. It was just me. It was just me, the Most High. It was just me not having to report to anyone or anything like that. It's just in my room, just watching shows and, going out when I needed to make money. But to fast forward past that, now I'm back in corporate, and I felt like, wow, I'm going backwards. I don't want to do this. I know it's not for me. However, I changed my perspective on it. And a lot of things, you just have to change your perspective and your mindset about it, because remember when we went to the networking event in New York, and they were all talking about don't quit, pivot. And
don't quit, pivot.
And they were saying, don't look at it as if you're going backwards, because you're really not going backwards. You're just pivoting to the next level. You're switching. You're changing gears. So I settled with that fact and made me be more grateful for where I am and in my present time, because when I was hustling, I was like, oh my gosh, I wish I just had the biweekly paychecks again. And now that I do, it's just, I can't complain about it. So 2 years ago, I wanted to be here, and now I'm here, so I can't complain.
Yeah.
Complaining is very low vibrational.
It is, but it's just, we skipped over this really quick, so I just want to zoom in on this really quick. Once you decided to quit, once you decided to leave KPMG to pursue your passion at that time was modeling.
Yes.
And as we know, modeling doesn't always pay at the first start of it. So you didn't have any income in, but you were finding different part-time jobs to get some money to pursue that.
Right.
So it's not easy chasing the dream. No. Okay? There's some sacrifices, and my girl was willing to sacrifice them corporate checks to pursue your dream.
Right.
And after a year or two, were you pursuing a dream? Were you pursuing modeling?
Yeah, so I would say about 2 years full time, so every day, and I would definitely was not getting paid for any.
2 years committed to following your vision. That takes a lot of that takes a lot of work, babe. A lot of courage, I think.
Yes. And so now we're here.
Now we're here. We're back to corporate because we're funding the dream. That's the perspective.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's just moving differently now.
Yeah.
I jumped too fast a while ago, and when I was at my other job, and now it's just okay. Now I'm putting things in perspective and shifting things how I need to shift. And just taking it day by day. Going slow.
Slow and steady wins the race when you're in your own lane.
Right.
And I'm grateful that you decided to share that, because when we talk about the New Year's and resolutions, right, you're literally like the physical representation of pivoting, perfecting your pivot. You did the corporate track, the traditional track, then you was like, I'm doing my own thing. You really was focused on doing your own thing, and now you're like, okay, I could bring the two together. They don't have to be separate.
Right.
And when you change your perspective, because the key thing is changing your perspective, and now that you change your perspective, you're living a dream. Exactly. And it's a work in progress.
Exactly.
Shout out to you, sis.
Thank you. So question for you. difference between perception and reality?
I feel like two things can be true. Your perception of something doesn't have to be my reality, but it's true to you.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
and sometimes they can both be on the same wavelength. Exactly what I perceive is exactly what's actually happening, but then feelings come into play, and then the feelings kind of can jade us and like sway us because feelings aren't facts.
Right.
They could be valid. You could really be feeling this, but it's like that's not the fact of the matter.
Right.
So, you like perfect instance. You working at a corporate job, and some people could be like, "Oh, this is soul sucking.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck, I hate this shit."
Yeah.
Your perception is like this is a horrible job and it's draining, but reality is it could really actually be that it's weighing on you. Oh,
right.
it can be weighing on you, right?
Yeah.
But if you flip the perception, like, hey, this is actually funding me to live. I'm grateful for that. This is funding me to like chase my dreams.
Right.
I'm grateful for that.
Mm-hmm.
Then it can actually be like, oh, this is actually so fulfilling.
Right.
Yeah, helping you invest.
Exactly.
Or this is just a tool in my little toolbox.
Exactly. And that is the process.
It's a process.
Implementing grace into the process.
Grace.
It's like you can't be hard on yourself. You have to trust the process. You have to have faith and not be fearful. And you may not know how you're going to get there, but you know that you want to get there. And I think that's all that matters. And as long as you're working towards it and taking those steps to pursue it and succeed at it, I don't think anyone will fail. I feel like you only fail when you give up. So don't give up.
And I think grace is like the best word to use. Like as you're going through a transitional period, as you're trying to perfect your pivot, right? Like everything ain't gonna be rainbows and gumdrops.
Right, exactly.
But if you change your perspective, you can have a pleasurable reality.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly. It's all about the mindset. It's a powerful tool, and a lot of people let their emotions master themselves instead of mastering their emotions.
Literally.
And they become clouded or they become jaded. So it's all about slow movement, and that's the way God works, right? The source works, the universe works. Is all slow. It's not fast. It's not quick and easy. If it's quick, I don't think you really want it.
Nah.
I don't think you really, because there is no value to stuff that's quick. There is no significant value, I would say.
When you move too fast, you kind of miss a lot of the key moments that make something so special, you know? And I feel like that, like when people go viral too fast and then they get overwhelmed trying to maintain all of this stuff, they're like, damn, this is a lot coming at me. How do I navigate?
Yes.
Versus the person that's been a content creator for like a year or a few months really dedicated to their craft, they had time to build up that foundation. So now all the extra attention is just a bonus.
Exactly.
Because now they know how to navigate. So I'm really learning to, right now, my life is embrace the process, embrace the journey, and just take my time.
Right.
It's so easy to get caught up. There's so many distractions to like speed you up on your process. Like you think college, they tell you exactly, you pick a major, then they're like, here's your roadmap. Every semester, this is what you're going to do. So you know what to expect.
Exactly.
Then it's like, okay, we're working to get a career. You get your career, and they're just like, that's it for life. How was y'all at this job for 20 years? Get me the fuck out of here.
For real, like
what the freak?
There's no way. But
for real.
But yeah, so that basically you fall in love with the process rather than the end goal and where you want to go.
And it's like a lot of people, I think they get confused on like, where do I go? Like, I don't know where to go.
Right.
Because we're so used to people telling us our next step. And I think after college, that's been my thing of like figuring out where am I going to go. Once I realized I didn't want to do corporate accounting for the rest of my life. And I think that's where like experimenting comes into play, where you just try something out to see. I know I got an interest in like music, so let's see what that looks like. Am I writing music? Should I go to places like Rec Philly where I could connect with like actual musicians?
Exactly.
You know? Like, I feel like I'm finally returning back to that curious nature to just see, like, let's see what it looks like when I just try, bro.
Yes.
Let's just see.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly. You never know. Just jump in. Just jump in.
Just jump in.
Whatever comes out is a lesson learned. It was meant for us. Everything happens for us and not to us. So
yes.
everything is a learning lesson.
Come on. And that honestly brings us into like the segment where we were talking about Charlemagne's book,
Yes.
Get Honest or Die Lying.
Yes.
Why small talk sucks.
Small talk is dreadful. Like honestly, and you see, like, that's why when we go to a lot of the networking events, like, you take the lead when it comes to the networking stuff, because it's just like, okay, like, I really don't feel like small talking with you right now, but it was nice to know you. I know Kayla got it in the bag.
Now, talk to my homegirl. She got you.
Exactly. So, but, yes, small talk, and it's just, why, if we're not talking about things that are helping us elevate and inspiring us, why are we talking?
Mm-hmm. It matters.
Why are we gossiping?
Mm-hmm.
I don't get into all that. I used to.
Yeah.
But once I've awakened and I realize who I am and what I want in life, it's all cheap. It's cheap talk. Cheap talk ain't worth it.
That's real.
So,
I think that's a beautiful thing to know yourself and be like, honestly, I've outgrown this way of being. I'm out, guys.
right. Like,
And
I see y'all later.
I think that's one of my things with corporate. When you get into the corporate world, playing politics is such a big thing, and like growing and elevating within the firm. And you kind of gotta master small talk to move and shake, because my mentor told me, you never know who you're gonna run into. You just never know. So you always want to position yourself for success every time.
Right.
So during the pandemic, I feel like I lost my communication skills a little bit because I wasn't talking that much. We were all in isolation. Mm-hmm. So I was intentional, like, I don't care who I'm around, I'm going to talk to everybody. And I got like some conversation starters in my head real quick. Hi, who are you? What you do? What you passionate about?
Right.
You know, like the little elevator pitches that we get in school.
Right.
But that's neither here nor there. Learning how to small talk is a key when you're navigating certain spaces, because you just never know who you're in a room with, right? Mm-hmm. But in the book, Charlemagne is talking about, just in our culture, small talk is normalized, of a lot of people talking about nothing. We have so many podcasts, so many people, so many influencers talking about shit that don't matter. Yeah. They're arguing about rap beefs when, nigga, we got a president right now and a president-elect that's on some bullshit. We need to know what's going on so we know what to vote for, who to vote for, what policies are in place so we know how to navigate. Like, I don't want to talk about baddies when I really need to figure out what's life going to look like in the next couple of months, in the next couple of weeks.
Right.
You know?
Right.
There's bigger fish to fry, which is what Charlemagne's talking about in the book. Exactly. What's some things that you've liked so far since reading it?
So, I would say I liked his quote where it says, I quote, well, he quotes. He says, I know we're short on time. Yeah. He says, this generation loves being the hare, but doesn't have much respect for the tortoise. They're so eager to get out ahead of everyone, they don't even realize there's a whole race to run. And I agree with that. Because, especially today, society and everyone wants things done so quick. Everyone's rushing to get here. Everyone's cutting people off on the highway. Everyone's so angry, ready quick to kill, ready to quick to do this, because they see all of this stuff, this propaganda, right? The social media, and people are here and showing this image, and then they want to get to that. They need to survive. They need money, they need this, like, so everyone's out here surviving, but also people are losing what's really important and what really matters. And honestly, since we're talking about the root of problems, everyone's trying to make money, but money is the problem. Money and ego is the problem. And I know what kind of country this is, but still, it's a problem. Yeah. And I feel like it's not the answer. But love is the answer. Love is the answer, I feel like.
What does that look like for you? When you say that money and ego, what does that look like of it being a problem? How can we see that in today? Do you have an instance, for example?
The material things, everyone's so attached to it. Everyone's so attached to the jewelry, to the bling, to the name brands, to the designers. And
the baddies aesthetic.
Right. Fighting on TV, the violence is all low vibrational. So it's also and energy never dies, right? It could be shifted, it could be transferred, it could be even pushed, but it never dies. So the energy that you're putting out, what do you think the universe is going to feel? What do you think the universe everyone as a collective is going to feel? So when they say energy is contagious, it's contagious. And that's why I always say my energy is my currency. So you won't see me everywhere. And my energy is very valuable. So,
yeah. So on that angle, from what you're saying, not to cut the wisdom, but you're saying, shout out to 19 Keys, he be saying that, not to cut the wisdom. I agree that the root of the problem in today is that too much of the superficial stuff is being promoted and celebrated. It's like people are worshiping these false gods, these musicians, these reality TV stars, these influencers, and they're like losing the source of God, which is love. I look at God as love, you know? God, right. And if we're saying that, it's like a soulless culture. Niggas are just doing stuff for likes, for views, to go viral, just for a couple dollars.
It is.
Yeah, and yeah,
everyone's soul is tampered. It's they don't know where it is because they're chasing something that is an illusion. They're chasing an illusion. They're in a rat race where you're just going in circles. You're going in circles. And I think Money Man said it. He said, if you don't break out of the matrix, you're just going to keep going in circles and circles. You're going to go in a loop. It's like a hamster on a wheel. You're just going to keep going and going and going, and you're going to have this carrot in front of your face and thinking you're getting somewhere, and you're really not.
Yeah. Damn, that's so real. And it's like they promote that. It's massively promoted of just like, this is what you want. You want the money, the bitches, the niggas, you want this lifestyle. And it's like, at what cost? What did it cost you?
Right.
So
that's so. That's so. Point being is another thing. Last minute, money is not the answer. Love is the answer. Money and the ego is the problem.
To be continued.
Let's love first, then get the money. Okay.
Yes.
And cut.